Hello beautiful people, how are you doing? Welcome to my channel. If you are new to the channel, welcome, and if you're old, you have been here since we started, how you doing? How is life? How are you? And guys, for all of you who are coming back to the channel, thank you very much. You're doing a great job and I really do appreciate it. So today it is going to be another video of me just talking about things I wish I knew, or things I wish I knew in my teen years, because I have seen like a lot of people doing videos of things I know now in my 20s that I should have known or something like that. But you know what, I just turned 21 recently, and I think like I'm still too young to be talking about regrets and mistakes. But you know what, life is life. No matter what age you are at, you still have things that you wish, like, oh, I wish I knew this when I was younger, or I wish I did this like this. You get me? It's not about going back to the past and being like, oh, I wish I changed this about myself. But I think this is like the video for if somebody is young, maybe if you know somebody who is like in their teen years, and most especially girls, because I'm a girl, so I'm going to be mostly talking about things in my girl perspective. Anyways, as I do my hair, because this thing is not thinging. Anyways guys, so first of all, let me first give you some history about this black hair, because do you see it? Yeah, it's old. It looks old, but it's just I just did it last Tuesday. Yeah, and today it's Thursday. Today is Thursday, and I just did it last week on Tuesday. But it's this old because my hair gets old so fast. And because times are hard, we are not going to be changing hair just because it's old, because it's not because we don't want to, but because times are hard. So also this video is for somebody who is having hard times, and you can't just change your hair just because you want to, or you can't change your hair because like you dread going through the process of doing your hair. Like a lot of people dread that process, me included. I don't like going through the process of doing my hair, but I love changing my hair enough that I'm always going through the process. So yeah, anyways, so I'm going to like be doing some bantu knots, but let's first appreciate them when they are still down. But I can't leave it down because it's old, so we are going to try to make a hairstyle that will cover up the old. Okay. And as I tell you what I wish I knew in my teens. Well, baby girl, in your teens, just know life is not all that it is, and just because you see things in other people's lives does not mean that all is good. So be careful. And another thing is, as a girl, remember I'm mostly talking about the girl version. As a girl, be very careful of the people that you let close to you, because people are always willing to literally do something to you. I don't get it. I really don't get it. When I was younger, I thought that, oh, I should be more careful of the male species, but then I found out that even the female species, I still need to be as careful, because ooh, if you think the male species would want that body, you have not met the females. Yeah, they will hate you for that body. So be very careful, and be very careful of, I think like my younger self, I wish I had known this, but I had to learn the hard way. Be very careful of the crowd that you walk with. The wrong crowd will throw you literally in things that you don't need in your life. So the wrong crowd is so bad. Be very careful of that. All right, guys, I have just done 2 knots, but I already feel pretty. I was pretty even to begin with, but this hairstyle could also work. Anyways, let's continue. Another thing is, don't tell people what you are doing, especially, how can I say this in a good way? Yeah, those female friends you have lying around, or literally you can find that only one will want something good for you. The other group, if you have like 10, the other 9 hate your guts. So don't be out there telling them, oh, I got this, I got that. Jesus Christ, you will learn the hard way that people don't like other people's success. So calm down. Don't tell them nothing. Don't tell them about your man. Don't tell them nothing. Continue on with life. If they ask, just tell them, life is just like that. It's like it's the same as your life. You get me? It's like somebody's asking, yeah, it's the same. If you're struggling, yeah, I'm struggling with you. I'm there with you struggling. Don't be out there telling people your business, because they don't like it. They don't like your success. They just want to see you like, no, they don't want to see the good happening in your life. There is something like that I had that says that if you're in sorrow or you have like a misfortune, cry as hard as you can. Cry so that the whole world can hear you. But if you get something good, be sneaky as a thief in the night so that nobody knows about it. Because oh my God, people like it when people are crying. Yeah. And another thing that I want to that I wish I knew is that I had to learn that. Anyways, this is the time for you who is listening to know. People will F you up. Forgive my French, but it's also people who will literally uphold you to reach your potential. So, although we need to be careful with people, we also need to be good with people. Don't just be like, oh, I'm cutting off all ties. For what? Cut off ties when it's really, really, really needed to cut off ties. And another thing is, never change yourself for anybody. And that consists in a relationship. You get me? In a relationship, like I really do sincerely feel that the young generation is falling more in love than the old generation, or like not even the old generation, because that would be like, which generation are we talking about? I think like we're all from the young generation, but all in all, I think people in their teens, or like, yeah, I'm not going to say early 20s because hey, Jesus Christ, hey, experience teaches you. Anyways, people in their early teens are falling more in love, are out there like experiencing more love than people in their maybe 20s, late 30s or 30s or something like that. So this is advice for you. Do not, and I repeat, if you feel like you feel the need to change yourself, and not in a good way that, oh, I was a bad person, now I'm changing myself to be better. No, but I have to leave maybe what I'm doing for this person. I don't have to like go to classes if you are in high school and you have like that tiny boyfriend in school and you're like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. You change yourself for this person, the relationship is bad. Leave it, because you will continue on changing yourself. Yeah, it is not good, because a good relationship, you need to be true to yourself, and your partner needs to love you and love the things with you. You get me? And in a relationship, there is something called compromise. So even if like your partner does not maybe has some opinions on some things in your life, if it's not hurting nobody and it's not hurting you, and you're good with whatever you're going on with your life, they will have to compromise. So don't compromise yourself for other people. That shit ain't right. And since we are still on the topic of relationships, please, and I repeat, please, young people out there, stop going around saying, oh, if he dies, I die. If she leaves me, I die. Let's take a moment of silence for all of us to literally just take that in. No. No matter how much you love somebody, I know love. You can be out there and you love these people. Your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your tiny guy. Yeah. And you like them. You love them. You feel like, oh, I love you from the moon down. I love you till Lake Victoria will dry up. I love you. I can give my heart for you. I love you. I will sell a kidney to give you the money. And yeah, that shit ain't happening. Like, seriously, that Romeo and Juliet thing is not happening. One of the love stories that I hate, absolutely hate, is Romeo and Juliet, but we will not go into that. But why do I say this? So recently I had a friend and she called me one night and she's like, oh, Kana, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm dying. And I'm like, bitch, what's up? What are you doing? What's happening? Do you see the hairstyle coming out? Yeah, you can't see the old anymore. Yeah, we are onto something. Anyway, so I'm like, what's up? What is happening? And she is like, oh, my boyfriend is in the hospital and he's so sick and he's dying. Let me tell you one thing, if he dies, I will die. So I asked her, how are you going to die if he dies? And she's like, I'll give myself some pills, I will die, I swear I will die. I told her, seriously, swear to God, I was like, girl. So anyways, she calls me out because it was at night. So I went and saw her because she was crying. Oh, can you meet me? I'm like, okay, fine, I will meet you. But then when I met her, she is telling me this kind of Anyways, I look at her and I'm like, love, if you literally dare kill yourself just because a guy died, I know you love him, so like, fine. But if you kill yourself, because I will not bury you, first of all, because I don't. If you know burials of Uganda, you have to leave town and go to villages. Villages are so far away. And not just because I'm a heartless person, but I'm a reasonable person. I don't want to bury you just because you felt the need to end your life for a guy who died. I know you loved him. End your life for something important. Be like I was being a hero. I was saving a child who ran into the road. So I was saving them and I got hit by the car and the child is still alive. Yeah? Something like that. Something with foundation, concrete. But no, she's like, oh, if he dies, I will kill myself. I was like, first of all, I'm not going to bury you. And second of all, you will die. We will bury you. Other people will bury you. And we will literally, because like on burials here, we eat food. Yeah, so there is like the burial food. And usually they cook rice. So I'm like, we will eat the rice, free rice by the way, and we will go back home and we'll move on with life. But I will literally consider you as literally one of the stupidest people ever. Because why don't you love yourself more than you love a man? Why don't you, a man, love yourself more than you love a woman? Don't be like, I have had so many people, this is not the first time I'm hearing this. I have had so many people, young adults coming out, oh, he left me, so I'm going to kill myself. Or, she left me, so I'm going to kill myself. No, girl, you don't love yourself. You don't. I love myself. I love myself and I have fought so hard for my life to literally be ending it for another person. in that kind of way. I could end it for like some, not even end it. It would be me being a hero of some kind, and even that is definitely not that guaranteed. You get me? But at the end of the day, I seriously have to tell you, like I'm doing the back part, I seriously have to tell you, you need to love yourself more. Huh? You need to love your life more. Don't go around even having those kinds of thoughts that, oh, if these people will ever leave me, I will die. Look at the people in the world. Think about it. If you ever get into that situation and you feel like, oh, I need to leave, or I need to give up my life just because like this person is not in my life, think about that, like all the people around you are the people they are with, the people they started out with. You get me? Some people are out there and they have been in thousands of relationships, yeah, just looking for something that will work out, and you get one high school sweetheart or like one love, and then you're like, yeah, if they go, I go. True, good love, kudos to that, we remove the heart for you, but girl, love yourself more. Your life is more important. You can grieve, you can mourn, you can cry about it, build a river, no cry about it, build a boat and move on, like sail that boat. Don't be out there being like, I will kill myself. Anyways, since I have finished that, what else? Ooh, be very careful. Let me tell you one thing, be very careful, young girl out there. So let me tell you, be very careful of the people that literally well, how can I say this? Be careful when you're out there in the world. So just because, so I'm talking right now, I'm talking to the 16-year-old, 14-year-old, whatever, the young age, the under 18 people. I'm talking about you. Be very careful, because in life, hey, you can't be trusting people. So I was out there once upon a time, and now I'm getting into story time. Anyways, hang on with me. I was out, I don't even remember where I was, and I met this group of men, like met me. I think I was like out and about doing my own thing. Yeah guys, I can end here because I look gorgeous. Anyways, doing my own thing, and this group of men like came, and I remember like I was with a person and we were like talking, so they know this person and they're like, oh, talking to us, you get me, because I was with these people, with this girl, and these guys like started to comment on my looks, my body and everything, because like your girl has always had you get me, yeah, our bodies develop at sometimes, unfortunately, a very young age, so people will get attracted to that. And so I was there and they're like, oh, beautiful, blah blah blah, oh, let's tap it and everything, and this lady's like, oh no, you leave the girl alone, she's like young. And I look at them like smiling. In those times I thought that, oh, you have to smile at every single thing, you get me? Yeah. Anyways guys, that's another point. Don't be out there smiling if you're uncomfortable. Anyways, so I'm like, oh, I'm young, I'm too young for any of that, you get me? So they are giving like sexual energy. And I'm like, oh, I'm young, and the girl is like, oh, she is young, so leave the girl alone. And these guys were like, oh, you're young, really? How old are you? So I was like, oh, okay, we are talking with civilized people, so we literally left that train of sexualization, you get me? And these people are like, so I'm like, I'm 16, and then they're like, nah, we can still tap it. Oh my god, I was creeped out. They were like, nah, that is old enough to tap it. I'm like, what? Like what? So though my body is like nice and good and everything, I was short, this short, but still that doesn't that doesn't like excuse any kind of advances, but that really woke up my mind, and I knew that, oh, my age will not scare anybody away. Your uniform will not scare anybody away from literally wanting to do something to you, or from taking the advances to get with you. So young girl out there, be very, very, very careful, and be able to know that, you know what, this is what is happening. Usually, unfortunately, when these kinds of like older men or something like that, when they come into your life and you're like young for no good reason at all, they're like friends, blah blah blah. Don't be around them in alone places. Yeah, be very careful. That's all I can say. Be very, very, very careful. Life is very, very bad, especially for young girls. And another thing that I wish I knew when I was younger is that you have a lot of dreams, but you still have to literally take one dream. In all that dreams that you have, you will still have to pick one or two or three. I'm in between. But for I have an excuse for a person who does not do one thing. I have to do a lot. Yeah, that's my only excuse. But at least two or three, but make sure that at least they align with all these things that you're doing. They can align together, you get me? But don't be out there being like, oh, I'm doing this and it's so far from being aligned with that other thing that you're doing. So something like that, eh? Yeah, though you have big dreams. And another thing is that you will not, it's fine to not have your life set out by 20. It is so fine. As a person who was literally in their teen years, and I was thinking, oh, by 20 I should be married, because like for me, guys, if you did not know that, for me marriage is the dream. Like seriously, I'm not desperate for it, so be very careful if you're literally thinking that I'm desperate for it. I'm not. If you come to me and you're like, you don't fit whatever I'm like, no thank you. Anyways, but marriage is one of like my biggest it would be my biggest accomplishment. It's in fact like married, family, building a family, because like that is a very big dream of mine. I love the thought of a family, because I have grown up in a good family, you get me? And I love the thought of family, and I know that family is one of the things that literally has your back. If this family is raised well, you get me? Yeah, you will have sisters, brothers, and parents who will have your back in whatever. The world can hate you, but that family will never hate you. So I'm really looking forward to like making my own family, and that is like very important. And so when I was younger, I would be like, oh, by 20 I want to have like a husband, a family, a what, you get me? And yeah, 2021 we are here, and we are still rocking that. Yep, we are not married. And we don't have anything figured out. We are still building life. We are still trying to figure out our life. So that is still okay. Don't be stressed out just because you see that the plans that you had are not working out. It's fine. It's fine, love. It's really fine. Some people figure out their lives at the age of 40, but don't take that long. Don't take that long. But it's still fine. 20 is just you trying to discover yourself. Yeah, so it's very, very fine. And another thing is that listen to yourself. Your heart knows better. If you are in a situation and you feel like, oh, this thing is not adding up, leave, get out of there, because it's really not adding up. You get me? We have the sixth sense, we as human beings, and it is so alive for the women. So if you ever feel like this person close to you is like creepy, don't get close to them. And leave as soon as you possibly can. Get away out of there, you get? Because if you feel it, it is what it is. It's really that. And another thing is that just because a person tells you they love you does not mean that they love you. Tough. Yeah, just because a person tells you they love you doesn't. Oh my god, am I talking about relationships alone? I feel like I am, but hey, I consider to take myself as a relationship guru. Anyways, we have fallen into enough mistakes with people and relationships to know that and relationships consist of both friendships and sexual partners. Yeah, so take notes, get a notebook. Anyways, what was I talking about? So oh my god, this is like taking the longest. When I finish this, I am done talking. Alright guys, so another thing that I have learned in life, if you don't want to do anything, don't do it. Yeah, really, don't do it. If you don't, even if like somebody, oh my god, no, don't take it the way of like, oh, if you don't feel like doing something, so don't do it. But if you are in a situation and you're like, maybe like we have a lot of peers in life and they're like, oh, take this, maybe like have this drink, and you know like you don't need to have the drink, don't do it. If you're not used to a place, never go there. If you are with a person who you don't really trust and they want to take you to a place that you are not usually used to, don't go. You will fall in trouble. So story time. Sometime back, your girl Hannah, oh my god, first of all, before I tell this story, I am so sorry for every single family member who watches my show, and don't be out there judging, because yeah, don't judge before you try it. So I remember once I went to like a friend's birthday party, and it was being held in Kampala, and my mother allowed me, so we went. Like, she's a friend of my mother. Like the girl doing the birthday party was a friend of my mother's. No, her mother is a friend to my mother. Yes, so we know each other. And she was like, oh, we have an after party. So the birthday party like ended fast. Her boyfriend like had prepared the party. Excuse me. He had prepared the party, and so her boyfriend had prepared for her a party, and we were invited. I'm like, okay, fine, good and well. I went there, I sang her a song, and afterwards they were like, okay guys, whoever is going back to Entebbe, because it was in Kampala, they were like, guys, whoever is going back to Entebbe, come on, let's go. And I was like, yeah, let's go. But then they were like, oh, for us, the others, we're going to an after party. And I'm like, oh wow, an after party, really? What are you going to do? So I'm the girl who does not like parties. Even the birthday party was like such a chore to me, but you have to do what you have to do. A girl has to do what a girl has to do. So anyways, I was like, oh, after party I want to like know about it. And they were like, oh, we are going to like this famous club in Kampala. So I was like, oh wow, a club in the capital city. I was like, ooh, I want to know what goes on in there, because who doesn't want to know? Curiosity, my curiosity was the issue here. Anyways, I am like, I also want to know. So I'm like, I also want to be at the after party. What happens? I went. So they were like, okay, fine. But then like this girl who was taking me, like the birthday girl, she is like such a good person, and she knows how strict our home is. And she was like, okay, fine, but you'll have to like stay by my side at all times. I'm like, okay, fine. So your girl is dressed like a church girl. When I say church girl, I mean church girl. You get me? I don't know if I have the picture, but I will see if I have it so that I can show it to you. Anyways, I was dressed in like this green cute dress with heels, with black heels. Like I'm always wearing heels, and I was literally the only weirdo on the party wearing heels. Anyways, and the green dress is like tall or long, and it was like knee length, so it's decent. I'm telling you, it's decent. It covers till throat. You get me? It was like, yeah, it was covered. I was covered. I repeat, I was covered. And I went to, so we were like, okay, let's go. And when we went, I had to like literally lie to my mother that, oh, we were caught in traffic, blah blah blah. And she was like, okay, fine, you'll stay by this girl's home, which is fine. She has a mother and they trust each other. So we're like, good. For those of you who are asking, oh, where is your mother? Anyways, so we go to the party. The moment I entered this club, it was filled. Remember, your girl does not drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do shisha. I don't do nothing. So we enter, and every single eye, let me tell you one thing, every eye turned and looked. They stared, and in fact they did not even just look, they were like, we enter. I'm like, maybe it's the crowd, like the crowd I am walking with. No, it was not the crowd. I think it was me. Really. Why was it me? We entered, we went, we got like to the VIP section. This, like, the boyfriend has money, we are going to the VIP section, and every single eye, the women were looking and the men were looking. I don't know why the women were looking, but it is what it is. And the men were like this looking. So we went up, and we were waiting for the table to like for us to get a table, and it took like some time because the place was so filled and we had to get a table. So I'm the only weirdo who decided to wear heels, because I wear heels wherever I go. And I'm standing by the birthday girl, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm looking around, I'm like, oh wow, these girls like dress like this. Where did they pass? How come I have never seen them pass by the roads? That was my thought. Afterwards, as we are standing, this gentleman who had a table filled with all kinds of drinks you can ever think about comes to us. We are literally standing to the other crowd scattered, and he is like, oh, you are all lovely ladies, oh, we are inviting you to our table, can you come please, and you can have a drink with us and everything. I'm like, so they were like two guys on the table that they were sitting at, and I'm like, so I look at my friend, because she is more used to these are her things. So she's like, no, thank you, we are just waiting for our table. So I'm also like, oh no, thank you, and he goes away. So I am walking around the place, I'm watching people from like up They were like some railings and everything, so I'm just standing there and I'm looking down. I'm watching these girls, beautiful people. I'm watching the men. I'm watching everybody doing their own thing. I'm like, my mind is blowing up. I'm like, wow, really, people are really living it up out there, and I'm stuck in the house. But still, I want to repeat that clubs are not my thing. That noise was already getting to me, that I was like, I appreciate a good time. So we wait, and as we were waiting, it got into like some more time as we were waiting for the table for us to get a table. And this guy comes back. So I had left my friend like a distance, but I can see her, and he comes back to me, and he's like, oh, you can come and sit down by our table as you wait for your table to be like done. So at this time, my heels are killing me, my legs are hurting and whatever, and I go to my friend. I'm like, so this guy is like, I can sit as I wait for the table, so why don't I just maybe sit as I wait for the table? Because like she was standing literally here and the table was here, so we literally are in the same area seeing each other. I'm like, fine, because in my mind I was like, what can he do to me in this much of a crowded place? Anywho, a lot. So I go and I sit down. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so relieved. And then it's like, oh, you can have whatever drink you want. I'm like, no thank you, because I don't drink. I don't drink. But there were so many drinks, I don't even know their names, but there were so many. I was like, I don't drink. And then it's like, no, you cannot just sit here and not have something to drink, you have to get something to drink. I'm like, if you have anything that does not involve alcohol, it's fine. So he was like, offering me a drink, and I'm like, he's like, oh yeah, we can get like some Red Bull, these energy drinks. I'm like, I had tasted Red Bull once, because I also thought it was alcohol before I tasted it, and then a friend of mine told me, no girl, it's not alcohol. Oh my god. So I'm like, and when I tasted it for the first time, I was like, oh, it has a good taste, because the taste is not that too much, and I love that kind of drinks. I started drinking. They got me like maybe six Red Bulls, and they put it there, and I was like, they got me a glass, and then this guy is like being a gentleman, opening up the thing for me, pouring the drink. I think that was where the problem came from, because I took one glass of Red Bull, I drank it, and afterwards I drank the second one, and as I was finishing the second one, because I got up like maybe 2 times to go like pee and all of that, and the third time I wanted to get up, I could not get up. My mind was like, oh, you get me? Literally my body from this to down was dead. And in my mind I'm like, oh wow, I'm tired. That is what my mind gave me. I'm like, oh, I'm tired, it's too late, it's past my bedtime, so I'm tired. But no, I was not tired. And then like my friend had come and they got like a table, so she was like, oh, kinda let's go. And I'm like, oh yes, we should go. But she's like, so I go to get up, and she's taking my hand, and this guy's like, no, don't go, don't take her, she can just stay here, you guys are just close by, she can stay and everything. And I'm like, no, I need to go. And then like this girl, my friend, gives like she's whispering to me, and she's like, Kana, you need to go, literally do not even accept to stay here because you're not fine. So I'm like, in my mind I'm like, how am I not fine? But for real, I was not fine, because my body could not function, but my head could. So I'm like, but my body, I could barely feel my body, I could barely lift it up. And then she's like, and then I turned to this guy and I'm like, sorry, but I really need to go. I will first go to my friend's table, and then yeah, afterwards when I get fine, I'm not feeling too well, when I get fine I'll come back and everything. And that's when he was like, okay, fine, but whatever you need, tell me, I will give it to you. I'm like, okay. And then I turn my head, and these guys are all staring. Like even the guys downstairs were like looking. People are giving me like signs. They're like, oh, come this side, and others are like, oh, come this side. And I'm like, what kind of sorcery is this? Eh? What kind of sorcery is this? Anyways, we get off the table and we go, but that is not where the issue literally ended. I go and I sit down. They gave me like a seat. In fact, the birthday girl left her seat to give me a seat, and I'm literally falling over. I'm like I'm like this, and I'm like, oh my god. In my mind, that is when I start to like be like, okay, I might be, but still my mind would say I'm tired. Good, fine, good and well. I went to realize that, oh, I might have been done something. The next day I sit down and I start texting. I had a friend and we are texting, talking all kinds of things, and afterwards this person, there was a guy who was not a part of our table. This is where the craziness really begins. Who was not a part of our table. He is sitting behind me, and I'm literally like just drinking water. I'm eating the ice that they brought. So I'm doing everything to like make my body feel better again. And this guy is like comes, he was sitting behind me, and he gets so close, like you feel the face here. And as I am texting, he gets so close, so my mind is like, oh, somebody's close to me, but I don't turn. And then afterwards he brings his phone, because I was like texting this way like this. He brings his phone and puts it in front of my phone. So I squint my eyes and I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? What is that? And on the screen there is, so I will give you 200,000 if I can steal you away from your friends. So I turn around and I'm like, oh my god, who is this offering money to me? I turn around just to look for that poster of being like, oh, I'm for sale. I turn around looking for that poster. I'm like, am I for sale? Anyways, that is not the issue. I turn around to see this person who is like, who has the audacity, and is this handsome boy, guy, man. Very handsome. I don't know where he was from, but he was handsome, and he looked like this mixed blood. And I look at him and I'm like, no thank you. And that was when I knew something had been done to me, really, because when I said, oh no thank you, my mind was as free as a kite. I did not worry. I was like, just no, I don't want, but carefree. And I'm not a carefree person. I might be, but I am very cautious. I'm very cautious. So I'm like, what? So he's like, he gets back to his chair, and afterwards he comes back to my side and he starts whispering to me. He's like, I will raise it 300. I'm like, no thank you. Literally, I'm talking like that. My voice had changed, I think. And it's like, oh, 400. I'm like, no thank you. And then when it got like so weird, because I was like always saying no thank you, at this time it's so late and I'm so fed up and I'm tired. I am sick, I'm tired. I'm like, I need to go home. But remember, we are in Kampala, we need to come back to Entebbe. And we went, I was like, I told that birthday girl, we need to go home. She's like, yeah, we need to go home. These other people we came with, they were like all drunk at that moment. Some are even puking. And I was definitely out of it. And we go. She's like, oh yes, let's go. So they round up all the people we came with and we went. They brought, in fact, they were 2 cars. Yeah, we came with 2 cars. And we went, and as we are going down the stairs, because remember we're in the VIP section, we're going down the stairs, this person is like comes following us, Yeah, this person comes following us and is literally at my back. I can feel him on my back. That was how close he was, like this. And he's like whispering in my ear. He's like, 500. No, don't go. I just need 1 hour. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, oh wow. Now I think about it and I'm like, girl, that was some crazy thing going on. So he's like, 500. I'm like, no thank you. He's like, 600. I'm like, what? So I was just waiting it to like turn to 1 million, and I'm like, wow, you're desperate. But anyways, we continued on walking, and as it got to 700, I was still saying no thank you. Yeah, I know some people who would have accepted, but I was still saying no thank you. And we went back home. But that experience alone told me never ever go to places when you're not familiar with them. First of all, I never go to places with people who you're not also familiar with. Because if my friend had not been there, because remember, I'm not an experienced person. So if my friend had not been there to like notice that something was wrong with me, I think I could have been more dragged and then carried away to somewhere. Ooh, because like these people also had like bodyguards close by. So anyways, I still wonder until now why they were so interested in me, because I was dressed like a church girl, bitch. Like all the other people were dressed to entice, to seduce, and I was the only one dressed as a church girl. So I was like, you guys are going to offend the other girls because anyways, that is it. And another thing is, don't drink strangers' drinks if you did not get anything out of my story. But then I'm the kind of person who never learns because I still drank strangers' drinks on the trip to Kenya. So yeah, I guess that should also go to me, because I'm out there and I'm not thinking about consequences. Hey, anyways, and another thing I would want to tell somebody who is younger, do you boo? If you are doing something and it makes you happy, do it. Let me tell you an example. Colorful hair. For me, I don't usually find people with colorful hair, but I'm the one person who will always have colorful hair because I love it and it's not hurting anybody, though I have gotten a lot of criticism with it, especially from my mother dearest. She is always hating on my hair for being colorful, and she's like, oh, it's not decent. But you know what? I listen to a lot of things that my mother tells me, but hair is the one thing that I will not listen to, because it's beautiful and I love it and it makes me happy. So I will keep on doing whatever makes me happy, and if it's colorful hair that makes me happy, I will do it. I'm not being indecent just because I'm painting colorful hair. I'm just being me, the best version of Kana, colorful. And last one, guys. So, and another thing is that I would want to leave you with, the last one is that how can I say this? Love God. That is all I can say. Love God, because He has better plans for you than you have for yourself. So if that means something to you, love Him and be more prayerful. Don't do things that really just go against you as a human, you as a person, you as like your moral standard. Yeah, And always be kind. Kindness always takes us so far in life. Kindness will be your weapon at the end of the day. But also be ready to speak up when you feel like it's something worth saying. So yeah, be always. Alright guys, I think we are done with the hair. The edges are edging, and just leave you with one thing, is that always love yourself and be patient, and life, how you think life is at the moment, don't let that direct your future. You get me? Your life at the moment, don't let it direct your future, because the future always changes. We don't have it in our hands. No matter what plans you have, don't let that direct the way you live your life. No matter how your life is going right now, don't let it direct the way you live your life, because if you do that, you will mostly find out that you are going to maybe miss out on a good future or something like that. So don't let, just because like you're in this situation, right now you're sick, don't let that direct it, because tomorrow you might not be sick. Take me for an example. Just because like you're in a financial standpoint in a place where like life is tough, that does not define who you will be in future. Just be positive and look forward to the future, because the future always has something good installed, and especially if you do fight for it. Another thing is that the world will not give you what you deserve, but it will give you what you fight for. So fight with everything that you have got. Fight for it. Do everything to better yourself. Do everything as a human being. It might not be financially, it might not be anything, but just to better yourself. You get me? Because that is very important in life. We just need to build. We build our lives as we go. If you are weak in like maybe physically, do some exercises. It always helps out. Even if you're sick, please get a way to do exercises. That is very important. Even if you are not financially there yet, do some work around the place, something. Be very like active and productive. And another thing that I would want to advise you in, get a practical skill that you can involve yourself into. Literally, this is one of the things that will save you out of something. Like seriously, get a practical skill. Maybe if there is these organizations of like sewing, or where they teach people like how to sew, how to bake, how to whatever they do out there, get something practical, or get a friend who is in a practical thing, or they are sewing. Make friends with the ladies who do sewing, the ladies who do like bakery, the people. Get in contact with people who have a practical skill, and acquire that. Even if you don't use it in the moment, it can be something of help in future. That is very important. It's not about theory alone. It is mostly about practical. So be practical in your life. And if you decide to do something, especially if it's good for you, maybe you have like a business thought, or maybe like you have like an idea that you would want to execute. Execution is the most important thing. It's not even about the idea, it's about executing. So execute. If you have a plan, execute it. If it does not hurt anybody, that is very important. Never do anything that hurts other people or yourself. Love yourself more, and may God bless you all. Guys, this is the hairstyle. This is how it came out. Oh, you cannot see the old edges anymore. Oh my God, I love it. And I look all cute in here, and more decent, as my mother likes it. So this will last for how many days? Like 4. yeah, 4, and then you can just redo it again and get like some edges. You do the edges with like some good baby hair gel or something, and it will come out as beautiful as it does right now. And it does not matter which hairstyle you have, as long as it's braids, tiny, big, whatever, it will work out. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified every single time I will be posting. And if you need more of my crazy stories that I have experienced in my life, you can also comment in the comment section, and more videos that you would maybe like, more content that you would maybe want to view. Yeah, you can tell me all about that, what you would want to watch, what information you would like to get, or maybe like what the topic I could be talking about that you guys would want to hear all about, because I feel like at this extent I have experienced a lot of things in life, and I'm only 20. Gosh, life is not fair, but that's it. Guys, I enjoyed making this video because like it just took me back to memory land, and I think it was also like a lesson to myself as well. Yeah, I was not speaking to only like the audience, but I was also speaking to myself, because truth is I always have to keep all of this that I have talked about in mind, because sometimes we forget. When we get comfortable, we forget about things, that the world can be a dangerous place out there, but it can also be a wonderful place. The people who hurt us are sometimes people hurt us, but also other times people are also the ones who make us the best versions of ourselves. Love God and He loves you too. Bye bye guys, thank you for watching. Love you.